We didn't came to this world to suffer. Why do human beings love to suffer so much and create storms in a glass of water? I don't know. But what I do know is that there is another way of living this life, one that no one has taught us, and it's by trusting, living our life in the hands of God, of the universe, of life itself. Welcome to the 11th chapter of Clichés Reinvented. Unfortunately, there was no 10th chapter in English because this was a conversation with a special guest that it was in Spanish. So sadly, we don't have it in English, but still, we are in the 11th chapter or 10th chapter in English. Clichés Reinvented, a space where I'm going to share information, thoughts, and insights to help us both live a life in consciousness. These are reflections that have helped me with my personal growth and to live happier and more conscious. This is why now, today, I want to share them with you. I want to thank you for being here today and taking the time to listen to this podcast while you're walking in your car, walking your dog, cooking, whatever you're doing. Thank you for deciding to be here with me and with yourself. Living things in hands of God, learning to trust. I would like to start this episode by explaining a little the reason for including God in my writings. Because for those who don't know, I'm 18 years old. I graduated from high school last year. And what happens for someone like me of my age, the topic of religion and to mention God represents a whole world behind it, based on stereotypes, on our education and relationship that we've created in respect to God and religion. I want to make clear that here I'm not gonna talk to you about religion, not even like much less with the word God. I am referring to this superior energy. Everything is energy in this world. You and I, we are energy. And with God, I am referring to this that is above all of us, the universe itself, life itself. Because you want to accept it or not, there is something else. There is something that transcends human knowledge, that transcends ourselves, and that which governs the entire universe itself. So I will keep on calling it God because that is how I adopted it in my life. However, for you, it could be the universe, life, energy. However, you want to represent it or acknowledge it in your life is fine. I do not want to generate any type of division when mentioning God, but in my case, in my life, he has been such a fundamental piece in my growth and in my life that it's impossible not to mention him. And for those who have listened to more chapters of Clichés Reinvented, you will realize that I always mention him. It's like impossible not to mention him. I will refer to him as a he in masculine because it has always been that way in my life. Like I've grown with that. And like changing it or to a neutral article or something like that, it's kind of hard. So it's like it has been always, but it is, however, I want to make clear that this masculine article that I use is like absolutely not in purpose. It's how I've been calling this superior energy my whole life. The connection that I've created with God and with all the beings of light has become one of the most important pillars of my life. And that is why today I share it with you. Because without it, I will never be at the point of my life in the one that I'm right now. I mean, feeling well-being, feeling good, being able to share reflections that help me and people to grow in a personal and a spiritual level. And this is why I share them and I share God and all these insights because I want you to grow as well, to feel good as well, to live life consciously, to change this mindset that we've grown with. And that's why I'm gonna share this because it's what have helped me, and it's something that it might help you as well. When we make the decision to grow on a personal level, to take care of ourselves, to know ourselves, to understand ourselves better, to create a stronger connection with myself in order to grow and evolve as human being, the connection with this superior energy is just inevitable. I don't know another word. It just happens. Because just as I mentioned before, we are not alone here. There is something if infinitely bigger than us, which surpasses us on all levels. It is that connection that we create with what is beyond or what is much bigger than us, that which we cannot see nor finish explaining because we feel it. We feel it deep inside of us. We feel that love, something that's telling you, calm down, you're on the right path, everything's gonna be fine. This confidence in life. It is for this very reason that we must learn to trust life. It happens that sometimes we live thinking that we can control everything, that we can take charge of absolutely everything in life. But what happens? We go crazy because we can't. We are not gods. Far from it, even though God is inside of us, but there are things that we will never know and that we won't be able to control. When we become obsessed with having the answers to everything, with having control over every single thing, we end up losing it. Losing this control because it is something that we can and we will never be able to do. It's something that goes against the universal laws. That's why they say, trust that everything will be fine, or everything happens for a reason. What is this reason? I don't know. Or, and you don't know either. We don't know yet. But there is something that is under the control of the one who knows everything. God, the universe. We can think that it's just a consolation that human beings create to not take responsibility for what happens, or this is how I used to think before. But here is where we have to be very careful. Because, yes, it's true that everything happens for a reason. But what am I doing to make things better or worse? What do I have within my reach? Because we cannot live blind to our reality and live saying everything happens for a reason, no matter the outcome, since we are the only responsibles for the situations that happens to us. See how I am part of this, part of the problem and part of the solution as well, part of the situation or part of the success too, as far as I have the power. If every human being does not think about his role in every situation of his life at all levels, from his relationship with himself, then with his family, then with the people around him, then with society, and then with the world, well, we won't get anywhere because we are not aware that we are all here living a human experience in the same place, on the same planet, and that even though we live and we lead different lives, and that we are all different, we are all part of humanity, whether we like it or not. That is why it is our responsibility to reflect and take action on what my role is in this situation and what is within my reach to do. When you start living consciously, everything relates itself. Like everything gets related. You discover the power of your thoughts, the power of your words, and the power of your actions. We have also heard what is for you, what is meant for you is for you, or what is for you is for you. And you can see how in life situations happen that despite the fact that apparently everything was against it, it ended up happening. Or when we really don't understand how, but things just come out, they happen, they they occur. This is the great power of the universe, of life, of God, that there is something waiting for you, and that if this something is for you, and if you do everything within your reach, it will end up happening because you trust God and life, and because God and the universe already knows what is best for you. Really, what's the use or what's the purpose of complicating and making harder our lives for all that we can't control? For what? If it is clear, if it is clearer that we cannot do anything about it, complaining, crying, criticizing, things won't change. What do generate a change, what does generate a change, what does generate an impact is the action, the actions that we decide to take with what we have within our reach. When you understand that only what you do generate a change and can generate an impact, it is here when you take responsibility for your life, for life itself. But it is also here when you trust that if things happen, they will happen and that everything will be fine. If you have not done things well, and if they don't happen, then there will be another path, another door will open, or you will have more options to do what you want to do. This relationship and trust in God, in the universe, in life, we can explain it as a kind of teamwork. Because look, we are the ones who are living this life, nobody else. And this is crystal clear. We are the ones who decide what to do. We are the ones who take the decisions, and we are those who take the action. But at the same time, we leave our results in the hands of God, of life. We trust that what has to happen will happen, and and what is best for us, even though at the moment we do not understand it or we cannot see it. It's like we go together. Like, I'm not alone here, but I have to do my part. There will be things that we can never control, but there will be others that we do can control. And we won't know the answers for everything, and that what we can control and the answers that we don't know, the results is that we must leave it. We must leave them to Him. We must leave them in the hands of God. Learn to trust, because the universe, it's reciprocal. What you give, you'll receive. So we are going like together. It's beyond our understanding. There's something or someone who's making his job too. And it's up there. We cannot confuse leaving everything in God's hands, expecting that it will happen what we would like it to happen without doing anything on our side for what we want. This position or this mindset is completely wrong, because we are not making ourselves responsible for things that we should, for our outcomes, for our own life, whether we like it or not. In the same way as blaming God or life for the results of our own actions, our decisions. Because just as the universe controls everything, everything in this life has consequences, whether we like it or not. It's just cause and effect that it will always exist. As I mentioned before, it is a teamwork between us and God, life, the universe. We must also be aware that those of us who are going through this human experience are ourselves. Therefore, we are the ones responsible for our actions, and that is why we must take responsibility for them. God is always there, but He is within us, and it is up to us to live by His hand, allowing ourselves to be guided by the one who knows it all, without pretending that we know everything or living trying to control every single thing. By trusting and leaving everything in God's hands, we let go of these attachments to life. Attachment to everything being perfect, attachment to people, attachment to any situation or thing, because you know that if you're doing things right, everything will be fine, because your life is in their hands and you have done your part. And the need to hold on to any situation or person disappears, since there is no reason to hold on to something. If we do things right, then we will get what we deserve, the consequences of our acts. Now, what happens? It happens that we are humans, and the day where we take the wrong decision or do something that we know is neither the best decision nor the best for us is not missing. Is in this point when we must be aware of our actions, take responsibility for them, and at the same time, open our hearts to God, talk to Him, and talk to ourselves as well. Understand why we came to make this decision. There will be mistakes in our life. There will be decisions that seem negative at this moment. There will be results and answers that we won't like at this precise moment, but we must learn to trust that everything will work out, that everything has a purpose and a lesson for us. And if we did things wrong, we should be grateful that we're conscious about it, that we are able to tackle it, that we are able to say, yes, I did this wrong, like I know I made a mistake, because that allows you to improve, to make a change. If we're not conscious of our acts, well, we will be living in the same cycle where everything repeats and we won't be able to improve nor change. If the decision we made or what we did was not the best, life gives us a new day to try things out again. Every time that you wake up is a new opportunity to correct, to improve. If this is not love, then I don't know what is this. The human being continues having second chances. With a new day, millions of possibilities open up. With a new sunset, we have the power to choose again how to live. Unfortunately, we are not always aware of it. Truly, the fact that you wake up one more day and that you have the chance to improve as an individual one more time, the chance to start all over again, to do things better than yesterday, to do things differently, and to start all over again is an impressive gift. One of the greatest gifts that have been given to human beings, I would say. This is why we emphasize on giving thanks for one more day of life, because every day is a new opportunity to go out into the world and do things better. Prove to yourself who you are. Despite the fact that sometimes we mess it up, we wake up once again from our deep sleep. And once again, we have in our hands the power to choose what to do, what to think, and what to say. What happens that if we are not aware of the great opportunity that it is given to us through one more day alive on this earth, then we will continue messing things up. And when the consequences arrive, we blame life, others, everything, everyone, except ourselves. And the reality, as hard as it may seem, yeah, is that every day you had the choice to decide what to do, A, B, or C. It depended on us at all times what to do. Trusting God, trusting life, the universe requires a clear conscience, because we all know that everything has consequences, and that if we do not make the apparently correct decision, then we will not have the apparently correct results. I say apparently or something because these are relative depending on what we think on what is good or bad for us, and everything is neutral. We just give it this sign of good or bad depending on what we think. That is why it is so important to be aware of what we do, whether good or bad, depending on what's good or bad for you. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if we did the wrong thing. What matters, as I just said it before, is that we can identify it, reflect on it. This gives us the freedom to choose what to do tomorrow, whether to continue in the same cycle, doing the same mistakes, the same mistaken actions, and getting the same shitty results, we'll say, or make a change for our highest good. We will not always be right, but we can always be certain that we can learn from everything, absolutely everything. The peace that trusting the universe gives you is simply surpassing. It's matchless. It's indescribable. It's everything. We did not come to this world to suffer. Why do human beings love to suffer so much? Love the drama, love to complicate themselves, love to create storms in a glass of water? I don't know. But what I do know is that there is another way of living this life that nobody has taught us. It is by trusting, living our life in the hands of God, of the universe of life. We can learn to trust, give Him our life, leave all our problems, but as well our achievements and successes in His hands. When we manage to do so, we manage to live calmly. We come to understand that everything happens for a reason. Yes, we may not know it right now, but everything has a purpose. What is the purpose of being against what destiny holds, going against changes, resisting flow, staying still? This goes against the universal flow because the universe is always in constant movement. If we stop and we resist life and life's changes, we're going against nature itself, against life itself. Just remember that every new day, every awakening is an opportunity to do things better one more time. Thank you for arriving to the end of this beautiful chapter. I really enjoyed doing it. If you like what you heard, if you like the insights shared, share it with your friends, with people you love, and tell me what you think about it. Write it in the comments what you think, what you felt, if you like it or not, whatever. Thank you very much. Don't forget to follow Clichés Reinvented on Instagram, clichés_re_invented. I would really appreciate it, and I will really appreciate your thoughts and insights to know what you think about it. Thank you. See you in the next one. Bye. Love you guys.